Welcome to the Evolve Talk in the Century. My name is Cindy Imane Nyamtengarapuri, and welcome to yet your favorite podcast show. Are you drinking your water? Are you minding your business? Girl, I've not been drinking my water because I have been minding your business. Listen, I've been minding your business and making sure that I bring you the best content. Girl, it has been so hard getting this episode done because, wow, today I just feel like I'm in a spotlight. I've been doing this for so long, but for some reason, I've been struggling in this episode. Technical issues, guys. Technology is just not on our side. I was like, girl, what's going on? Like, why is everything against us? Why is everything against us? Wow. But anyways, let's go to the first segment of the show where we talk about popular culture, current affairs, and I am not alone on this segment. I am with Vhutshilo. Vhutshilo, hi. I'm great. How are you?
Nah, I'm all good. Now that everything is on order, we can it's been stressful.
It's been so stressful. Like, can we talk about this technology right now? Like, can we talk about technology right now? How it can just sabotage you?
I think with technology, it's sort of like the action reaction type of thing, or maybe we tend not to be like really well educated about it. We just get the gist and just find whatever we can use and then on with it.
Yeah, but I don't really think about that. There's just a lot of things that can go wrong with technology when you're using technology. And at this time, we are actually using technology a lot. We are using technology for Zoom. I mean, classes are done on Zoom. And there's just a lot that could go wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, there is. I think maybe, like as I was saying, maybe our environments are not really conducive enough for this for these conferences, online calls, and all those things. Yeah, because sorry.
Of which reminds me of something that happened this week. I think I saw it on Twitter. Did you see on the Zoom call someone was busy with the shenanigan and they were in class or something? I'm not sure if you saw something like that.
No. I'm just the one I saw with Zoom, because it has been trending a lot. A lot has been going on with Zoom as of late. Apart from it not really encrypted enough. There's also been there's a sort of like a news anchor who was news, and then the girlfriend passed by, and then the guy is married. So it was it's
yo. So that happened while the news were being read.
Live. So
the one I'm talking about, I think it was a classroom, and then the other guy is in toilet, and I think he switched on his sound on, and then he was busy making the toilet sounds. So everyone was I was like, what?
I saw it. There are so many screens opened on the video that I saw.
Yeah, because the thing with you also need to switch off your sound.
Your mic.
No, your sound.
Yeah.
As like you can also switch on the camera, right? Switch off the camera.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is just stressful. I can't. Like, guys, it's really stressful. And that brings us to what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going, in the main team, we're going to talk about mental health, how this whole change is just, I don't know. We're trying to find normalcy in this. We're trying to find something normal, and it's just not normal. We're not used to this. Really, we're not.
Yeah, it's hectic, but I think it's when it comes to mental health and technology, they should be an intense sort of like study, because it's sort of like when going back to sort of like your social media and everything in between, they are now becoming the epitome of mental health issues.
Okay, let's go to #What's Trending and explore these topics. So catch all the tea after the break. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make podcasts. Let me explain to you. First of all, it's free. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. This is where I'm doing it from. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. It can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimal listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. On Twitter, I'll just highlight some of the few topics, some of the few trending topics on Twitter, just to go through them and find what could have been going on through these people's minds, or just to understand what was the situation. So here I have hashtag Bianca. Oh, this girl.
Oh,
this girl.
Bianca.
Okay, let me give you a context for those who are not on Twitter. Let me give you some context to this whole thing. So Miss Bianca entered for Miss South Africa. Miss South Africa has opened the applications, and this lady called Bianca, I can't say the surname. Do you know how to say the surname? I can't say the surname.
I can give it a shot. It's Kumbi, I think.
Ooh, okay.
Kumbi. I hope I'm not executed. Kumbi. You know, it's Kumbi.
Pardon our pronunciation, but whatever it is. So Miss Bianca entered for Miss SA, and Miss Bianca is a Caucasian lady. So people on Twitter went on to dig in her past, and in her past they found some disturbing tweets that showed racism, tweets that showed body shaming, tweets that were just out of order, and that ranged from 2013 to 2014. So what do you think about the whole Bianca fiasco?
Well, since I don't really follow much of your Miss SA, and yeah, I think for me it was sort of like we haven't really sort of like healed as people from all whatever that has happened in the past, and then that's why something like this, because now other people were like, no, she was only 14 when she posted those, but then deep down it touches a whole lot of parts of ourselves. That's why the falling of Bianca happened. And also there's also, what's this one? Naidu, or another Miss SA contestant, and recently. Then and it's becoming sort of like now the question is, how do really the Miss SA sort of like pick their contestants, and how. Yeah, because it's now becoming the question of the organization itself. So
I don't know. I'm not sure as well how this whole thing, Miss SA thing works, but I don't know if these contestants that were showing their videos, are they in the I don't know if you're aware of that. Are they in the competition already, or are they still contesting to enter the competition? I'm not sure about that.
I saw that Bianca was on the runner-up.
Oh, so she
and
was
then
in.
hence she withdrew. So withdrawing means that she was already in.
Oh, okay. I think with what you were saying about will we ever get to, I think South Africa is just a racial country. It's black and white issues. And it's always been like that. I've always been saying this on my podcast, because our podcast is listened by people from other countries as well. I've always been telling people that, guys, South Africa is just a sensitive country, and there's just a lot that you can't really say, especially if you're Caucasian, or even as a black person as well. There's just something that you'd say that would be taken out of context and would just become something big. And with the lockdown happening, I think in the first episodes during lockdown, when lockdown started, we were talking about issues that were happening on Twitter. It was really dark and people were losing their jobs. I'm like, why are people so dark? Like, a little thing that you post can just mess you up on Twitter, like just like that.
Yeah, so do you really think people had so much time in their hands that they will overanalyze everything? Or is it really that the temptation that racism is no longer the pressing social concern, but that with that said, sort of like it's globally, like I think it's happening everywhere. Everyone, you can easily touch a nerve with just one text everywhere, even with a single dot. Put a full stop on your Twitter there and share it. Someone will be offended.
Exactly. Twitter is quite, but South Africa is much worse. Twitter is just a mess on its own, and South Africa as a whole, as a country, because I feel like Twitter is a reflection of our society and what is actually happening in our society. So it just shows that as much as we have moved past that time, we haven't actually healed from that time. So there's still a lot of healing that needs to happen, because for people to go back, I think America is also in that phase, because in America same things happen. Like people go back to tweets that happened or things that you said, and then it will come and haunt you now.
Yeah, but remember, this goes back to decisions that we make in every aspect of our lives, and I always say that whatever people post, it's sort of like a true reflection of who they are, and because people don't just post stuff, they really think hard about what they're going to post, and then who they're actually directing it to. So that's why it goes beyond just texting. It goes beyond the social media. It goes to other aspects of their lives. Hence the following of Bianca, like I said. So it means that she texted, yes, but it escalated to whatever that she's doing. So she could lose her job if she really has one, and then she could no longer get a job in other companies. And so it goes really deep. It goes beyond just texting. It goes beyond just posting on social media. Yeah.
But it's also a thing of people. I get what you're saying. I think some people don't actually think through it when they go on social media and start posting stuff. People don't actually think through it, because I was looking at something when the lockdown started. People were just bored, and people, I think it is the mind that was playing with them. People started doing these silly challenges that could actually have a negative impact in their career and their lives. Ultimately, there was this black men, people show in underwears, man. I forgot the challenge with the guys.
Oh, I saw some, because after, I think it happened the same time with the pillow challenge and stuff like that, or underwear challenge, or the Canal 2 challenges.
Yes, that one. I think it happened around the same time, when people were just going there on social media naked. I'm like, guys, wow, y'all are brave.
But don't you think as people sort of like really live for validations? Don't you think? Because once you are isolated and you have no one, probably social media is the only sort of like platform that people can use to get likes and whatever. So we can't really live without compliments. We can't live without communicating with our friends and stuff. So I think that's why it probably went to down that.
I think that we should take it to the main tea. It's going to the main tea. Like, we really need to discuss that fully, because I also have some things that are my personal story of my challenge in social media recently, like just a recent story. So I think we should take that on the main tea, because we're gonna talk and explore that in its fullest form. So the other hashtag, it was level 3 lockdown. So level 3 lockdown is upon us. So for those outside South Africa that are listening to the podcast, the government of South Africa has came up with a strategy to revitalize the economy and go back to the economy. So they're using the stages or levels to do that. So now we're on level 4, we're going up and up, and then with level 3, it's only going to be certain places that are going to go to level 3. They will look at how serious how serious is it in that place, in that particular area? So what are your thoughts on that level 3 when we are going to level 3? Do you think we are actually ready to go to level 3 right now? I mean in June, because we're going in June.
I don't think we are. I really don't think we are ready. And also looking at the number of new cases each and every day, we're like hitting more than 800 each and every day. So, and hence this only happened after the 7-day open window. So, so if we are if such is as escalating, such escalation is happening right after a 7-day window, and then imagine if the restrictions are like really eased, then I think we're gonna have a second wave of the pandemic here.
But what do you think the government should do? Because if now we continue with the level 5 or level 3 or level 4, it means it has a very negative impact on our economy, and we actually need to go back to work, because if you don't go back to work, what are we gonna eat, child? Like, what are you gonna eat?
But then remember they had how much was it? The 52 billion for relief funds and stuff. Yes. So if they had
the grants. Do you know anyone that received the
those grants? And then they said they're gonna give the grants for like 6 months, right?
Yes. But
so then I think it's rather too. Sorry?
Has anyone received it yet? I haven't heard anyone saying that they've received it.
I haven't heard of anyone who has received it yet, because before on the previous briefing they had, they only talked about the 4 million people who have registered to receive those. Yeah.
Well, myself, I think we're not ready to actually go to level 3, but I feel like it's also necessary for us to start opening up the economy, because it is quite important that we open the economy for the sake of the life and the quality of life that people actually need to live up to, because now most people are losing their jobs right now, and it's in Joburg. That's where most people are working, and when people are losing their jobs, what are people going to eat now? So it's going to be just a mess if we continue with the lockdown. At the same time, if we open up the economy, people are going to die. So I think, I don't know, it's a tricky situation.
The question should be what's really important, the importance of either the economy or the health of the people. So they should weigh on what is it that they really, really care about. And then if ever they don't really care much of our health, then the question should be, will there be any economy if we are all sick?
Listen, I am for what you're saying, but I think it's a tricky one at this point, because if now we're saying that, okay, we're weighing between the economy and the health of the people, I mean, hungry people are actually dangerous more than the COVID-19, trust me. So we don't want people to get hungry, you understand? Because now when people are hungry in the streets, they are hungry, the crime rates will just increase because people are hungry. You won't blame them. So push has to come to shove. I don't know. It's a tricky one between health and the economy, because I can be healthy, but if I don't have food, think about it.
Then it's very tricky, like you say. But it goes back okay, maybe there should be sort of like a rethinking of the whole strategies, or maybe there should be sort of like because I remember Titombo when it is announced about their plans of the new economy after lockdown, but then no one knows when this will actually be around for. So maybe there should be some sort of like an innovative think tank to really sort of like explore ways to really strengthen the economy while still on lockdown. Yeah, it's very tricky.
I think that's what they're trying to do, because this is new, right? And we've never had something like this. So everyone is trying to come up with a way. We're trying to find normalcy or whatever in this whole situation. It's not normal. We have never encountered that. So I think I don't know. I'm giving the government its coin, because they're trying their best to find the best way possible with health and with the economy on hand. People life, the quality of life is on at stake here right now. Like, if you can't work, then it means you won't have food. If you don't have food, then it means it's a problem. You can't provide for your family. It's a problem. What are people going to eat in the family?
Isn't it? Are we not really are we not reaching though? I mean, okay, it's really important. I mean, if the estimate were about, okay, my thinking is that we are sort of really thinking that this is rather too early to really do that, because you can't give out the money. You can't really come up with grants and funds and all those things, and then right after giving that money, you're really opening up. So now the question is, why did you plan the funds in the first place? Then it's sort of no one, as you're saying, since it's the first time we encountering such things, then no one knows what to do. But then also it becomes the question of the leadership itself, because this is the time that should be really on point.
Yeah, true. But again, our economy was not doing well when the lockdown came. It's not like our economy was blooming and doing all good. So when the lockdown came, the economy was already struggling. So now the lockdown has just furthermore making the economy go down the drain. So they have to do something to actually revive it and help save jobs, because jobs are being lost. So they need to save some jobs as well, because if no jobs are lost, more jobs are getting lost, then it means more expense to the government, and it means high level of crime rates, because when people don't have jobs and when people are hungry, they will do whatever.
So I think the problem it goes, okay, because what I'm thinking now is that what we're going to do, we are simply just going to solve the symptoms. I'm talking beyond COVID. I'm talking, even if we didn't have this pandemic, we were probably going to have, if riots were supposed, we are well known for strikes and riots and stuff. So the problem is that someone once said, whoever feeds you controls you, right? So the problem becomes, the chaos starts when whoever feeds you can't feed you. So whoever if they can't feed you, then it means they can't control you. So if they can't control you, then it becomes chaos. So
so I think Ramaphosa acknowledged in his late night address, the one that he did, that coronavirus is taking, that's what he said, it's taking a heavy toll not only on the health of our people, but also on our people's ability to earn a living, to feed themselves, to learn, and to enjoy basic freedoms that we take for granted, So at this point in time, our economy is not doing well. And it was not doing well before the whole lockdown. Remember, before lockdown, we were downgraded by Moody to what was it? This junk status, right?
Yeah.
So we were downgraded already. So it means we're not doing quite well economically. And when we went to lockdown, it furthermore just downgrades us, and it's scary. So they need to do something. Even if we're thinking beyond COVID, we can't just sit down and say, okay, let's continue with the lockdown. That will furthermore create damage the economy, and it will become very hard for us to revitalize or to actually open up the economy back to where it was. We'll probably end up like Zimbabwe.
So what's your take? What's your take on people who say that we're supposed to actually take this time to reboot the economy? Do you think resetting the economy would work?
I don't know. I've never heard of something like that. How were they planning to do that? How do they say anything on how that can be done?
No, because like you mentioned before, we were not doing well in almost 70% of the aspects, right? We were not.
Yeah.
The economy wasn't in good standing. Jobs were still being lost, right? Before COVID. Just that probably the pandemic might have accelerated what was already going on, right? So if ever there were contingency plan to really get back and to really work on the economy, I think they were supposed to already be implementing those. Because right now we're just patching up holes. I think we're not really fixing anything, and then we're still gonna the problem will still persist even after the lockdown.
Interesting. That's your opinion, and that's what other people think, that okay, let's actually rebuild or reboot. And yeah, it's a tough one. I think it's really a tough one. I don't want to be in the president's shoes right now. I think it's just too much to deal with everything. It's a lot.
Yeah, so you maybe being a president is not as we all thought, eh? It's not really about signing papers and stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah, but I think this is like the time at which those who are really good leaders or great leaders are supposed to show their sort of like their skills, you know, so to say.
Yeah, I think it was also. I think it was also great because we saw a lot of leaders standing up. We saw them nyakazing in this time. Most of them we didn't even know them. Some ministers we didn't even know them. So I think maybe this COVID made them to actually become a bit effective than they were. I don't know.
Yeah, even the ministers, you know, the first 21 days of the lockdown, they were all and they were working hard. I don't know what happened. That energy didn't last for sort of like 10 days. You know, when they were delivering, all those problems, like they were busy because then the initial point or the initial thing was that people need to probably practice good hygiene, right?
Yeah.
And then they were delivering water tanks and everything.
So they're no longer doing that.
It showed, yeah. And then now it's sort of like it stopped.
Wow.
And it shows that they could actually do it even before. We couldn't really understand why it only took the pandemic for them to start sort of like delivering or giving us like good service delivery.
Interesting. Okay, let's go to the next trending topic. The last one, I think, will be the last one. This one, schools opening. So let me give you a context of what is happening. So the Minister of Basic Education, Angie Museha, announced that schools will be opening on the 1st of June. And a lot of people have been saying that we don't know whether this is a great idea of opening up schools. How will this work? And we are scared for the safety of our kids. And at the same time, as a parent, if school is opening, you don't take your child to school, you're actually at fault if you have not prepared for them. You actually, I don't know how to put it, but you actually are doing something illegal because, according to the Constitution, children have the right to education. So if you are depriving your child education, then I don't know what the consequences are, but it's somewhat wrong. So I don't know how this will work, but I think they need to go back. At the same time, I'm scared for them. So I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I also don't think I am one of those who are like, if I had a kid, my kid wasn't going back to school.
But what if they're going to arrest people that are not giving their children to school or not providing education to their kids, because that's what the law says. So if you're depriving the child education care, what can we do to you?
Then it becomes the question of power dynamics, because there you be taking away your right as a guardian, and then by forcing you to do it, then it's sort of like there's been questions about the way the laws are being practiced, since the whole, because now the question is that do you really have rights as a guardian over your child, or the law still sort of like really have the upper hand, when it comes to this, because you can't really send your kid in a country at which the health sector it's not really doing well itself, and you can't really send your kid to a school at which it's not really properly equipped. The facilities are not really great. We still have over 2,300 schools that do not have proper safe water and sanitations. And then imagine sending it to a place like that, and the government won't really encounter for those deaths. They won't really encounter for those kids. You understand?
Well, but is that fair to your child if your child is not going to go to school, not getting education and missing out the year? Is it fair on them?
The question should be, are they really going to allow each and every parent to practice homeschooling?
Because that's what they said. If you can, then you should. But not every parent is equipped to do that, remember?
Exactly. So it's really it's really difficult. But because now if there are threats as to what you're going to do, of what they're going to do to a parent who is concerned over their children's health, then it becomes, there'll be a whole lot of lawsuits after this, I believe.
What a time. Talking about this whole thing just makes me like, I don't know how to feel. It's just like so scary, so real. I'm like, wow, this is not cool at all. What a time to be alive.
I'm really grateful to be part of this struggle, because we were like millennials. We were born, and then we were born after a certain struggle, and then now we're like, hey, finally we probably if God in God's will, then we're actually going to be part of the history as well.
Now this is a lot. This actually takes me to the next segment of the show, which is mainly, I really want to talk about this. I want to talk about mental health so bad. Catch all the tea after the break.
Knowledge is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it. Ladies and gentlemen, knowledge is not complete if it's acquired and never shared. We learn, we teach, then knowledge evolves. Hi, I'm Ntangin Takan. You are listening to Youth Evolve podcast. A million questions can be asked. What is Youth Evolve and what is it all about? Well, I'm here. Let me unpack it for you. Youth Evolve is an organization we started in April 2019. Youth Evolve aims at empowering the youth, enabling them to become a better version of themselves. With that, they can become independent thinkers, that they can identify and solve social issues within their communities. The mission and the vision of Youth Evolve is to transform and mend the current high school learners' mindset. Initiations of programs by young people to solve social issues, to better school environment that allows learners to become the better version of themselves, to encourage arts and culture among the youth, to empower young people with knowledge and skills to empower themselves. Lastly, to encourage entrepreneurship. The values of Youth Evolve are excellence, collaboration, transparency, innovation, accountability, and leadership. Youth Evolve podcast will showcase the practical knowledge we all need. This knowledge will be on social economic issue together with practical guides on different development skills.
So in this segment, we will be basically talking about mental health in our day-to-day life. And I would like to introduce a guest. I still have Vhutshilo, right? Vhutshilo, you still there? Can you fix your mic, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you properly. So I want to introduce a guest. We have a guest here for our mental health, or rather for the main T segment. Let me check. I would like to introduce to you guys Pontsho. Hi, Pontsho.
Hello, Ndi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am perfect.
Yes. Pontsho, can you kindly just tell us about yourself?
Okay.
Before we start.
I'll try to make this brief. When I talk about myself, I normally take like 10 years, guys. But,
wow.
My name is Pontsho. I am from an organization known as Next Chapter, and I'm someone who lives with a mental illness. I live with generalized anxiety disorder and chronic insomnia.
Yes.
I am a student currently at the University of the Free State. I am also a co-founder and chairperson of Next Chapter.
Interesting. So Next Chapter is an explosive movement and an optimistic student organization that aims to address mental health issues among students. Next Chapter has the sole aim of breaking the stigmas surrounding mental health and mental health care uses by creating an environment that is welcoming for students and all backgrounds who are going through mental health related challenges. One of the aims and objectives is to advocate and support a break stigma on mental health, promote a general awareness of comprehensive self-health by emphasizing techniques that care for the body as well the mind. The last one is reducing the stigma towards people living with mental illness so that the students will feel more comfortable seeking help when it is needed and openly discussing mental health related issues. I really like what you guys do.
We really try every day to make a change, and I really hope that it's working. You can never know, hey? You can never know, but I hope I hope so.
I think you are making a change. Actually, I did my undergrad at the University of Free State, so I
know you.
Oh, you know me?
Yes.
Just tell my viewers. I'm putting you on the spot. Tell my viewers what you know about me.
Wow.
Just tell my viewers what you know about me.
I always saw you at the library. I don't know why, or if I spend most of my time there. But you were always in the discussion room with some people discussing something. So that's how far as I know.
At least you saw me in the right place.
Yeah.
You know, at least I'm being seen in the right place. At least I've been seen in the right places. Yeah, I was an undergrad student at the University of Free State. Now I'm no longer there, but I really loved the experience at the University of Free State, and one of the things was Next Chapter that really I've seen you guys doing a lot of work, and it has been so refreshing to watch, and it has been a marvel to watch you guys do what you do, because people really need to talk about mental health openly and not feeling like, you know what, I can't because people are just going to look at me in a weird way if I say that I have this issue.
Yes.
Right. If I had
it's very important to try and break the stigma attached to mental health. I think for Next Chapter, what we're trying to do, especially at universities, so many students are taking lives. So many students are dying at university spaces. So it was very important for us to try and create that platform at a university space to say, you know what, we are no longer invisible. Everyone must come out and let us talk about yeah.
I think I should just change up the whole conversation because I feel like I love where this is going.
Okay.
I just want to share my story as well when I was when I was doing my undergrad.
Oh, okay.
I think that is true. What you're mentioning and what you're talking about. Vhutshilo, you are welcome to join in the conversation. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
You're allowed to join in the conversation. So I'm just going to share.
I think you guys are really handling. You know, you have a very nice thing going on there.
Really?
You're allowed to join in the conversation. Well, okay. when I was in when I was doing my I will tell you the difference of why I do my undergrad and now my current state, right? So when I was doing my undergrad, I really started off not being aware of everything that is happening around. I was told when I went to varsity that, you know what, when you go there, you're not going to be doing this and this and this and this and this. You're going to focus in your books and that's all. And then my inquisitivity just got to me and I was like, you know what, I need to see what's going on here. I wanna learn stuff. I wanna increase my CV. Okay, my aim was actually building my CV. That was my aim at first. So Mughal in varsity second year, I ran for SFC, and I think that was my life-changing moment in the sense that I got really connected to what students are actually going through. I was not really connected to be when I was in first year. I was so ignorant to a lot of issues. I was just ignorant. I didn't know what was happening in the campus. When I went, I ran for SFC. I started speaking to a lot of students. I started engaging with a lot of students, and that was just life-changing. And I was like, wow, people are going through a lot. And I just realized I was also going through a lot. And I've also tried to end my life when I was in varsity. So that is so much relatable that people or students go through that.
Yeah, it really is. When you look at the rates of suicide at university levels or college levels, it's really a crazy number to look at, because we all wonder if the transition process from home or high school to university, was that sufficient enough? Was that good enough? Did that include mental health tips or how to take care of yourself? Because honestly, students have been taking their own lives, and it's not a thing we can ignore anymore.
So how did you do you mind telling us your story a little glimpse of your story, how you started this organization and what was going through in your life that made you to actually say, you know what, I need to do something like this?
Okay, this organization was started by Tepang.
Okay.
He is our founder, and I think you guys probably know him.
Yes.
But for me personally, to be able to say, you know what, I want to be an advocate for mental health. It was long before I got diagnosed with anxiety or chronic insomnia. This happened in my life where I understood pain. I understood pain, and a lot of things. People were dying in my life. I had friends who would resort to self-harm, take a blade and cut themselves, and I just thought, initially I thought, you know what, I want to be part of something that will equip me with skills to change the lives of the people around me. But as time went on, I started experiencing challenges myself. And my biggest challenge in my story was about fear and failure, because when I was doing my undergrad and I failed at the year that I was supposed to finish, that just made me feel like I can't achieve anything in my life. And then I was later diagnosed with anxiety and chronic insomnia. Yes.
That is quite interesting. I think as we're talking about, because I prepared this whole show, I was like, okay guys, I'm gonna do a show on mental health, and just preparing your mind that you're going to talk about something. I just heard you saying that you never had those issues until you were part of the movement, and that's when those issues started to reveal themselves. So
I became aware of
those issues. So it's also a mind thing sometimes. I don't know, our mind just play tricks on us. Right now, I'm gonna give you a funny story, guys. Right now, we were trying to work on getting on the show and starting the show, and I prepared this for the whole week. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a mental health show. This is what I'm going to talk about. This and this and this and this.
Yes, this is what I'm going to ask.
So when I'm doing the show, when we're doing the first segment of the show, some breeze of fear and some, I don't know, just things going on in my mind. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? So I think sometimes our minds just play tricks with us. I don't know.
Yes, they really do. I think it's important for us to be aware of how we think or how we see things, so that we can make better decisions of anything that's happening in our life. for myself, I live with anxiety. That means I'm always panicking.
Yeah.
So, girl, when this show wasn't happening, I felt like getting up, drinking some water, breathing exercise. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But it's important that we become aware of that and we know how to pull ourselves out of that.
Yeah, the most important thing, I think, is becoming aware of the issues and taking yourself out of it.
And just to add on what Pontsho is saying, I think the thing about minds is that our minds were built to protect us. So the minute something starts to go the way that it's not structured to protect us that's where I think the whole predicament comes.
Yes.
This is really interesting. I've had a podcast show. I think people should check it out. I'm checking the name of the episode. It was on season 4, if not season 3. I'm just trying to check the name. It's Phantom Pain. It's titled Phantom Pain.
Okay.
It's on season 3, titled Phantom Pain. People check out that episode. It's not really mental health, but it talks about a mental health kind of condition, phantom pain. So phantom limp, I don't know if you know a condition called phantom limp. So it's phantom limp is when your your limb has been removed. Right, let me just check the Google definition so I don't make a mistake. Phantom limp. I don't want to make no mistakes, child. I don't want to be out here called out. Phantom limp, right? So phantom limp is a sensation by someone who has had a limb amputated, that the limb is still there. So they have their limb amputated and the limb is no longer there. So they have this sensation of feeling that limb. So it's the same thing that our mind does. When something is no longer there, we have a sensation of still feeling it. I don't know if that...
I would agree with you. I mean, I think this is very much related to traumatic experiences in our life.
Yes.
They happen once, but we feel them in different circumstances, different environments, or sometimes in environments that might remind us of the trauma that has been experienced. So I think that's it.
So key facts about mental health. Mental health is more than absence of mental disorder. So it's not really about mental disorders. It's more than that. Mental health is an integral part of health. Indeed, there's no health without mental health. Mental health is determined by range of social, economic, biological, and environmental factors. I like this third one, which is mental health is determined by a range of socio-economic, biological, and environmental factors. Just asking you guys, let's just talk about that last one. Do you think that where we are, our geographical or our socio-economic affect our mental health? If so, how?
Okay, I'm gonna go first next.
Okay.
But this is what I think. I think everything around us has an impact on us. For instance, we are now dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
And that is affecting whether or not, as a breadwinner at a certain house, you are getting money to feed your kids. That is affecting students and the way in which they have to learn. That is different now. That is affecting so many factors linked to that. And of course, what I believe in is that mental health is like found in every single thing. Mental health is everywhere. So the fact that I'm not able to feed my kids and I'm not getting paid and I can't perform my duty as a breadwinner or as the head of the house, that has an impact on my mental health. So the socio-economic status of the country right now, which is a good example, I think has a direct impact on people's mental health.
Vhutshilo, I think we were having that conversation in the beginning about opening up the economy and all that. So what do you think now that you have this information?
I think I'm gonna take it my understanding that human beings are social beings, right? So it's like, remember back in the days, we've seen this in the movies, or some have experienced it, when you do something and then your parent will tell you to go to that corner,
Yeah.
So like go to the corner. Yeah, go to the corner and stuff. Yeah. So with isolation comes sort of like the distress, psychological distress, and then also like what she's saying is that if also you take away that one thing that defines a man, we're from the society that says a man must provide, right? So now when you take away that one thing that defines a man according to the society, then it means that you are like really breaking down the man into pieces. Then he's gonna break down hard, right?
Yeah.
So it's also sort of like the thing that it's very sort of like there's the distinctive between isolation and identity. I think also mental health goes down to identity. When one's identity is like it's under attack, or when someone is trying to redefine your identity, then it's yeah.
Also, to touch on isolation, I believe right now we're at a point where we are forced to face our feelings like head on.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of what's happening with the whole pandemic and the social distancing and the isolation.
Yeah.
People are finding themselves going back to traits that they never wanted to go back to. People are finding themselves having to actually like sit down and face their feelings. If you had feelings of fear, of being alone, of being away from your families, all of that is coming back. And that is a direct impact on your mental health as well. Yeah.
That is true, because at this point in time, we're trying to find something that is normal, that we can identify with, that we can say, I'm familiar with this, and we can't really find that. And that's why we actually run to social media, and that's why social media, I've been saying, it's been dark. Like, social media has been dark.
It really has. It really has.
I think that is one thing, because people feel that they're isolated, so they need to keep on, their relevancy. I was listening to this other thing earlier on. So she was saying that some people actually take down their pictures on social media when they only get like 5 likes or less than that, because they would think that, okay, people didn't actually look at my pictures. So in this time wherein you just want attention, you want people's attention, like you want, I don't know, it's not in because I don't know, it just want people to give you some attention, to validate you. That is the right word, to validate you. And I kind of relate to that, because I kind of experienced, I felt like she was speaking to me. I kind of experienced that. I posted this other picture and then got like a few likes. I took it down. Literally, I took it down. So I thought about it. I'm like, this is actually true, because we are at this moment we just looking for validation. And I was at that moment myself where I wanted sort of validation and people's attention, I think.
Just to add on that, next, what I think is happening currently with social media, and I think this can really become a negative influence on one's mental health, because so much has been posted every day. Sometimes when you don't even have to post, you just feel the need to post. Because I think our daily pattern is disrupted.
Yes.
We used to get up, look good, have your wig on,
girl,
wear those heels and wear that dress, and just go outside and see people and interact with people, So when that pattern is disrupted, I think we are, as human beings, we are built to find other ways or other things that will replace that which is no longer there. So social media right now is playing that part. People are busy posting every day. There's so much happening just so that people don't feel alone in this time.
So what do you think people? Vhutshilo, did you want to say anything?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add on. Remember you mentioned familiarity earlier, and then also what Pontsho is saying right now, and then I think our minds works in sort of like. Our cognitive sort of like functioning of our minds is sort of like we work with it functions well with familiarity. So the minute it comes across something that it's not familiar with, and that it's sort of like chaotic to the mind. Because I remember someone mentioned that during the first week of the lockdown, someone mentioned that it's for the first time that other kids are actually seeing their dads like the whole 24 hours.
Yes.
So that really sort of like, imagine what happens to one's mind when one is so much used to sort of like getting those comments about the places they visit, their selfies, because sort of like, not that there's like a third scale, but according to what I've observed, I think the level of selfies has really dropped exponentially.
I don't think so. People are actually taking quite a number of pictures, and some of the pictures are quite inappropriate, in the sense that I've already explained when the lockdown started that a lot of people were actually posting inappropriate pictures that might affect them in the later future, because people just want validation. I don't know. They just want.
And you know what I think as well. I think when you look beyond validation. Let's say you are somebody who self-validates themselves and knows who they are, beyond validation, I think it's a thing of relevance right now.
Exactly.
I think it's a thing of relevance. People are trying to be relevant at a time where things that make them relevant are just no longer there,
It's a time when creativity is being tested right now. I have this other friend of mine who's a creative. We always talk about creativity. He's in the media industry. So I'm also in the media industry, but like not really in. But so we do talk about creativity. I'm like, guys, this time creativity is being tested. A lot of people that we thought were creative are under pressure to come up with creativity, and it's just not coming up.
And I think about that. If you are known to be a creative person and right now you can't think of anything to do, and what you're used to doing is no longer out there, that has an impact on your mental health directly. So this is why, like, mental health is that golden thread that goes through everything and everyone. It's just about taking care of it a little better and knowing ourselves and being kind to one another.
I actually just went through something similar to that as of late.
Yeah. What happened?
So, I've been doing for a longest time ever. I've been doing a lot of exponential conversation type of stuff, exponential thinking. I've been doing sort of like, it's mostly labeled as being a futurist.
Yeah.
Where you look beyond the whatever that's going on, and then you come up with solutions as to either. I mostly work on ed tech, educational technology. So a lot that is happening right now. I actually had a whole lot of meetings last year with a whole lot of people from the Department of Education, and then when it happens now, it was sort of like at a stage at which I just gave up, because it was sort of like I was speaking Chinese to everyone.
People didn't understand, but not right now. People actually want your services.
Yeah, now they're like coming back, they're calling, and they're like, dude, this is exactly we need the solutions that you mentioned. And then now the energy is sort of like at a different level, I'm at my lowest. Like, guys, I can't, and then now you're on lockdown. You can't really just go to all these places that you're supposed to go.
So it's a feeling of being overwhelmed. You feel overwhelmed about the whole thing that is happening around you or in your life.
Exactly. So I'm only getting back to on my feet, because I was like really on a down low, because you want, and you are very creative, you are a very sort of like futuristic person, and then it's only now that your mind is just blank, because
creativity block.
You can do about it. The solution, you can't really, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, but as I said, the theme for mental health this month, is actually kindness. And I think that should not have happened at any perfect time, because right now everybody's overwhelmed, feels
kindness.
under pressure. And I think we need to be more kind to ourselves. I was speaking at one of these talks, and I was talking about how even students have to be kind to themselves during this time. When you're expected to know everything about online learning and have it under control, please be kind to yourself. Be more generous to yourself. You are doing the best that you can at this time, and what you're doing is enough. You will figure it out. Just don't be harsh on yourself, because if you were to be harsh on yourself, who else could take care of you? Who else is responsible for taking care of your own mental health?
Guys, do you really think we don't really talk a lot about self-discovery? Because this is just coming up from what she was saying, because I think it boils down to self-discovery. Do you think we really need to have more talks about that? Do you really think we're not really educated enough of probably how to go about self-discovery?
I think so. I would say so, because self-discovery for me goes hand to hand with self-awareness. And I think if we were to be more aware of ourselves, our patterns, the way we think, how we think other people think about us, it really goes down to us. And if we could work more on our own self-awareness, I think, yes, we need to have more steps on that. That would be great, actually.
So I think that is quite important. Self-awareness is quite important, because I was at a point in my life wherein I was not really aware of who I am and where I'm going and what is happening. It was just like messed up. So the moment wherein I started seeing myself, and this is me, and this is my this is what I want in life, things started to change, because I had a plan out. Obviously, having a plan out as well is also dangerous, because not everything comes together as the way you envisioned or you saw it.
Nothing goes
according to plan. But at least I had a bigger picture of what exactly. So it always has been a thing of, you need to be kind to yourself and allow things to happen organically, and not to be too harsh on yourself when things don't really go the way that you envisioned them, because things don't really go the way we envisioned them. When I finished my undergrad, I found myself at home for some time before going to Joburg and finding a job. When I was at home, I literally went through depression galore. Like, I was depressed. I ended up in hospitalized, basically, because at that time it was like, I don't know what's going on in my life. I really don't know what I should be doing. I haven't really discovered what I should have been interested in, because what I was doing in university is not really what I wanted to do, right? But it did help me. It did help me to actually discover a lot about myself, but it was not the field that I would want to find. So I actually found like a field that sort of, not a field, but a side wherein I would want to feature and be purposeful and do something that changes someone's life. So for me personally, I started an organization, a youth organization, that helped me to find purpose in my everyday life. I don't know. So that was very helpful to my mental health, though things were hard when I started the organization. When I started my organization, or youth organization, it was in the rural places, dealing with rural kids and all that. So it was a bit hard. I have no money, mind you. I have nothing. It was just so hard, but it felt so good waking up at night and just using all those night datas to update stuff, to learn about new stuff. It felt so good because it was purpose. I just felt like it is purpose, and I felt like suffering for it, and it felt good. I don't know.
I totally understand what you're saying, because I'm going to reference a friend of mine now. Tepang always says this: be loyal to your calling and your calling, and the universe will locate you. You know. And I think what that is all about, it's all about purpose. It's all about finding that which it is that you really want to do for the humankind, you know. And I think once you find that, you can find your own place, and you can find your own voice and be your own person. So I totally understand what you're talking about.
So it's always been that thing, and now I'm in Joburg. Like, things are different now. I'm in a different environment, so I'm no longer doing those things. I had no time. I feel like this lockdown was quite needed for me. I don't know, because things were just going south, to be honest, in terms of my mental health. I was trying to adjust to a certain new life, schoolwork. I'm trying to adjust to working as well. I could not have time to do my podcast. I couldn't, because this podcast, when I started it, was something that was supposed to assist me to speak out, was supposed to help me to have the voice and just to help other people out there as well. So I could not do that. I was not able to do that because I didn't give myself time. I was just preoccupied by every other thing.
No, I understand. I think this lockdown has had a different impact on different people. For me, it has completely messed up my sleeping pattern.
Everyone,
I don't lie. Wow. Oh,
Vhutshilo, sleeping pattern?
Wow. Because
I think it has been. I think it was much needed, I guess.
No, I mean, like your sleeping pattern. How is it? Did it mess up your sleeping pattern? Are you still sleeping the times that you sleep, or?
I've always been a light sleeper. Okay, not really a light sleeper, but my pattern has always been sort of like, it was disrupted since 2016. I've been sleeping for like 3 hours, 4 hours at most. So I'm still, like I'm saying, for me, it did had sort of like a positive impact in a way that I'm sort of like gradually trying to listen to myself more, trying to meditate a bit more. And so I think also for realizations as well. So as for patterns, I think I'm still good.
Yeah.
But then realizations, I think it's and then one thing I've also realized is that I spend a whole lot of time trying to search for this sort of like a mutual, or sort of like the same feeling that I once felt. If you were once at a space at which you felt really great, and then a whole lot of things happened, now you're like trying to get back to that same peak, and then what I've learned is that you don't really need to, you just need to take each and every moment and embrace it as different as it is. You don't really search for the same feeling that you once felt.
Oh.
Thank you for listening to the Evolve Talk, and that's all we have for now. Do check out part 2 of this conversation.